Hello friends, it's Leia, and it's also the end of May, so we're going to do a May reading wrap-up. So I only finished 5 books this month, which sounds okay, but 3 of them are graphic novels, so do with that information what you will. The first book that I finished this month was Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. I was buddy reading this one with my friend Bree, and I thought this book was okay. The story follows our main character and her boyfriend, who move in with her boyfriend's dad. And basically, she starts falling in love with her boyfriend's dad. Definitely a steamier book. I don't read a whole lot of like super steamy, like open door romance. Usually when I read romance, it's like contemporary, like literary fiction leaning romance, or maybe like rom-com-y romance. So this was kind of out of my comfort zone. It also has a really big age gap. I think the main character is like 19 at the beginning of the book, and the male love interest is supposed to be in his 30s. I think he's in his mid-30s, late 30s. Doesn't do it for me. I don't want to ick anybody's yum, so maybe you'll like it. Very steamy book. If you're not somebody that is into that, don't read this. You're not going to like it. I rated this one a 3-star. The second book I finished this month was The Nanny by Lona Ferguson. I was really disappointed by this one. The first 50% of the book, thought it was going great. The ending kind of just went downhill for me. In the beginning of the book, our female main character needs a job, so she starts nannying. However, she realizes that the guy that she's nannying for, the single dad, I should mention, single dad that she's nannying for, is a little familiar. Turns out he was her top OnlyFans subscriber. This book was spicy. And once again, I don't read a whole lot of super spicy romance, so once again, definitely out of my comfort zone. I felt like the first 50-60% of the book was really cute. I really liked the male love interest. I felt like around 50% of the way through the book, the author started to use like the spicy scenes as a vessel to move the story along. And for me, I prefer the spice in a book to be supportive of the relationship that's already developing between the characters. So I don't really love it when the character's relationship is kind of centered around their attraction to each other in that way. And obviously there is development outside of that, but I just felt like there was a lot of it going on. I started skipping spicy scenes. Like, there were so many. I can't even count. There were a lot. And then, like, towards the ending of the book, I felt like the development in their relationship was really superficial. Maybe this is a spoiler for you, but this book had a 3rd act breakup, and it just felt like, I don't know, it just like, why? Like, why did that need to happen? The climax of the book was just didn't need to happen. So the ending was not very satisfying. Honestly, I just forced myself to finish this book, and I feel like that's maybe where the beginning of my reading slump came in. I've had a pretty significant reading slump this month, and I'm working through it right now. And usually when I'm in a reading slump, I go to romance as like an easy, satisfying thing to read. But they just, like, I don't know, they just weren't hitting. But that's all I read this month. So yeah, finished The Nanny, and then the next 3 books, God, I got contacts yesterday, and my eyes have mixed feelings. The next 3 books that I finished were Heartstopper Volumes 3, 4, and 5. I don't feel like I need to review these individually super in-depth. I rated all 3 of them 3 stars. Cute, lighthearted. Volume 5 dealt a lot with mental health. It just was unexpected. I also DNF'd a book this month. Don't hate me. But I DNF'd Flawless by Elsie Silver. Please don't hate me. I want to count it as reading it because I got 75% of the way through the book. And it is kind of a lengthier book. I think it's almost 400 pages. And I really was on board in the beginning of this book. Once again, very disappointed. I've never read a cowboy romance, if that is what you would call this. I know he's a bull rider, not technically a cowboy, but like, same vein. Once again, I just felt like there wasn't a whole lot of character development happening in the book. And I kind of needed there to be. And obviously I didn't finish it, so maybe that happens later on in the book. But I feel like by 75%, like, we should see people changing, you know? And I just wasn't having it. I also felt like their relationship was, like, purely sexual. The main characters don't really get along outside of their sex life. I don't know. Once again, a book where I just felt like it really relied on the 2 characters being, like, physically attracted to each other, but they were, like, fighting all the time. And not about things that I felt like they should be fighting about. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to continue on in this series. People love Elsie Silver's books. Love them. I downloaded all the ones that are available on Kindle Unlimited, which is a lot of books. So I want to keep trying. Maybe it was just this one that wasn't hitting for me. I've also been working on Haunting Adeline. I'm buddy reading it with my friend Bree again. Definitely out of my comfort zone. I have never read a book like this before. I think I'm like 30% of the way through it right now. Definitely taking a lot longer to get through than our last buddy read, but we've both just been really busy, so I don't know when I'm going to finish that. Probably not anytime soon. I'm also currently reading, I think it's called Anatomy of a Meet-Cute. I'm really liking it so far. I started it yesterday actually, and I'm already 25% of the way through it. Good sign, good sign. Also, I feel like I've been reading a lot of books about like medical professionals, but I'm digging it. Dr. Gao in Anatomy of a Meet-Cute is really giving off like McDreamy vibes. But I was watching Grey's Anatomy like last month, so maybe that's why. Oh, and I'm still working on Gone Girl. I'm like 26% of the way through Gone Girl. Way longer than I thought it was going to be. And I'm chugging along through the audiobook, but I just don't have a lot of time to be listening to audiobooks. So anyway, that's what I read in May. Hopefully June is more fruitful. Hopefully I can get out of this reading slump pretty quick. I honestly feel like I just need to switch genres again. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you read in May. Let me know if there's any books that you would recommend. And I will see you guys next time.